my erstwhile assistant in this today. And we're talking about the tools of a conscious creator and how to use them. Because when you start to step up into work, doing this work and working with your superconscious, we have 5 steps that ensure that you can create anything that you desire. And we want to make those 5 steps our new normal and day-to-day experience so that we follow through and create everything that we love. It's not about trying to fix, trying to heal, or trying to solve an issue, whether it's a health issue, financial issue, business issue, relationship issue. This work is about creating things that you love, creating a life that you love, creating relationships that you feel empowered by. And to become a creator, we need to make that type of orientation our new normal. And every experience and action either grounds us in that creative process or it kicks us out of it. And we think that we know it, and we believe that we know it on a conscious level, but unconsciously we think, oh no, I don't need to take that step. We think that, oh no, I don't need to do that. And when we skip those steps, we find ourselves getting more and more frustrated. We start to oscillate and we get stuck. And nothing seems to move because we're trying to fix something instead of trying to stay in that creative flow of creating the life that we love. And for all of us, there's always areas that we'll love right away when we start, and other areas that need some dedication and focus to make them our new normal. Because we're shifting identities from a 3rd-dimensional reality, which is scarcity, struggle, survival, self-sabotage, and searching, into a 5D reality, which is being the creator of our world, our personal world. Because we can't create for anybody else, we can only create and co-create. So there's always going to be areas in our life where things don't go right, because we live in a co-creation with millions of other people. And some of those creations we took part of, some of them on a mass consciousness level is made decisions for us, but it's all about us determining what it is that we want to create. And we have all those meditations that we do, and we're stepping into the emotions of the end result. And we need to take, massive action. We need to follow the processes, whether we call it a lenses, a precision focus diary, whatever we want to do. It's all part of the process of where we're going. And then taking that massive action and writing it down, following the steps, keeps us in alignment with where we're going. And all these combined make the creative orientation your new normal. That helps you to step into being that conscious creator. And you can't skip any of the steps because they're all important. And you need to get solid in all of them. Otherwise, there will always be ways you knock yourself out of your creative momentum. And the truth's very simple. Practice the 5 steps and you'll create what you love. So let's go a little bit deeper into those 5 steps. And I'm going to share my screen and talk about those 5 steps. So just bear with me while I share my screen. So here's the 5 steps. Step one is choosing a true goal. Making sure that you align your target with your end result and that you move forward with complete clarity. And you're choosing things that you love, not because you're trying to fix anything, but for no other reason than it's something you just love doing. If I had a magic wand, I had all the money in the world, what would it be that I'm doing? And you might be doing the same things you're doing now, but you might be doing them for a different reason. You might be choosing something completely different that's always been in your heart that you've never felt confident to do. So it's getting clear and having clarity on that choice. And we always have to acknowledge where we are now. But when we're writing our choice, we always have to write it like we already have it. And that's really important that we do that. The second point is we need to create that structural tension. And as I said, we need to acknowledge where we are now and be present in our current reality, knowing that where we are now is what we created or co-created previously. And we've had, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever years of creation to bring us to this point. And now we're creating or co-creating a new reality. So it's going to take a bit of time to move from our current reality to our new desired reality. And so we need to create that structural tension so that it pulls us to where we want to be instead of where we are now. And you can't skip not accepting your current reality. You can't say, well, that's the past, I'm just over here, because where you are now, you have to deal with, whether you have an illness, whether you have financial difficulties, whether you have a relationship difficulty, or business or work problems, family problems. We co-created those. And so it's really important that we acknowledge that and not beat ourselves up, but go, well, so I've done that. This is where I am now, but I'm moving out of this into a new reality. And if I stop screen sharing for a moment, if I draw it on the board, we have our current reality and we have our desired reality over here. And we all want to go from here to here, but the road usually looks like this. And every time we hit a low spot, we cancel this out and we go back down here to our old patterns. And we try and fix. And then we go back up here again. And so instead of moving towards our desired reality, we keep hitting these little roadblocks and we keep going back here. And the whole point is, as we go through all the processes, we do that less and less. But it's always keeping our mind on our desired reality, on that end result of where we want to be. And the third aspect of this work is stepping into the emotions of that end result. What does it feel like? What does it look like? Because we're training our unconscious mind of what it feels like to be whatever it is that we want to be. And what does it look like? How do I look? Who am I with? What am I doing? Where am I living? What's my day look like? What am I doing? And when I get out of bed in the morning, how am I feeling? And so all those emotions are things that we want to accommodate as we move forward. And we always talk about structural tension like this. This is our current reality. This is where we are now. And this is where we want to be. The problem is our current reality is this big and our desired reality is only tiny, so it keeps pulling us back. And the next step is step 4, when we do the recode and unplug it. Our current reality, all the trauma, the pain and everything else gets smaller and smaller, and our new reality gets bigger and bigger. So it keeps pulling us forward until we get to a point when, okay, we turn it round and our current reality is bigger, and then we choose a different choice. Then we choose somewhere else that we're going to move forward into, because we're never ending in creating. We don't just create one thing. We're always in creation mode. And so when we create, we're powerful. We're empowered. We've got the ability to think of what we want in our life and create it. And I'm going to say within reason, because maybe some things are out of the realms of possibility, but we don't know that. We got no clue. I mean, so many people have overcome so many different conditions, health conditions, financial stuff, relationships, that we know once you make that choice and you follow through on that choice, just because you can and not because you're trying to fix, that the world changes and you change, because we're reconditioning our whole physical body on what it feels like. We're training our mind unconsciously and creating new neuronal pathways. If you think about it, I'm using red because my black doesn't rub off very well. So if you think about it, this is your nerve cell, right? And we make lots of connections. And so when we're creating and we're thinking about like learning something new, like the piano or anything, languages, walking, talking, we create new pathways. And gradually they meet up. If we don't use them, then they start to break down and they disappear. So when we do our sessions and we're thinking about what does it feel like and what does it look like, we're creating this pathway, and it's going to get stronger and stronger. And so that becomes our new thought, that becomes our new belief, that becomes part of our new story of who we are. And that's why it's so important to get into that emotion of what the end result is. That's why it's so important to feel what it feels like and get into that, because we're just training our unconscious. We're training the feeling part of our body, what it feels like, and that goes into every cell and fiber of who we are. What does it look like? How does it look? That's training our conscious mind on what it expects to be like. And so that gives it something concrete to hang onto, hang your hat on, right? And so if you have that, I get out in the morning, I look, have a shower, get dressed, whatever it is, have breakfast, feel amazing. I've had an amazing sleep. I feel refreshed. I sit and read the paper or look at my calendar or my program for today. And, enjoy my breakfast, go for a walk, whatever it is that you want to be doing, that's what you start to do. And so you start to train your whole body in what it is that you're doing and where you're going. And it's got nothing to do with where you are now. And I think that's the hardest part of stepping into this work, because we have an expectation that we're trying to fix something, but we're not. And intellectually we get it, but when it actually comes to putting it into practice, we don't. So the fourth point is the recode, is unplugging, decoding, and recoding those neuron pathways in the brain to release the resistance, the stories, the dysfunctional patterns, the old beliefs that we have that stop us from moving forward. And we recode instructions that are out of alignment with what your choice is, and release it. The problem with resistance, it's not bad, it's not wrong, it's just outdated. And it's no longer aligned to where you want. And most of those resistances and stories, emotions, beliefs, and behaviors we got in the first 4 to 7 years of our life. And they also can be past life issues. They can be bloodline, epigenetic issues. They can be multidimensional issues. Can be parallel timelines, quantum, tandem, shadow timelines that have got crossed over, so are out of alignment with who we are. And it's about using the recode and looking at all those old instructions that are no longer viable in this world that we live in today. Because those instructions that we had were amazing. They kept us safe. They kept us alive. Those instructions were followed to a T diligently by our unconscious mind. And now it's time to let them know that they're no longer useful where we are today. And so they need to be changed. And it's about teaching our unconscious mind then that those instructions, while keeping us safe originally, or whatever contract or vow or pledge or whatever it was that we took, is no longer required at this moment on this planet. And so it's time to release and let it go, but keep all the knowledge, all the wisdom, and everything else that goes with that, so that we can move forward, so that we can step up and into be the most magnificent version of ourselves that we can be, so that we can have that vision, we can be that conscious creator, and we can step up and out into the world being that light, or bringing in those new energies and being in alignment and allowing other people to shift and change as we shift and change. Because one of the most amazing things with doing this work is it not only changes it for you, it changes it for your whole family line. It changes it for the children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, and everyone else. It changes it for your partner, whatever relationships that you're in. It also allows it to change for that, because it's an energetic shift, and it's going to have an effect on no matter who surrounds you. And it may not seem obvious, but it does happen. And so the next step, the fifth step, is to take the obvious action, because everything's created twice, right? We first of all created in our mind, and then we bring it out into present time. And you cannot not take action we do it all the time. We're always creating. And you have to take action that supports the creation of your end result. Or you can choose not to. I mean, one of the things with doing this work with the recode is we can replace old habits and beliefs with new ones, but you can still go back into your old patterns and fall back into being who you were. Unless you take action steps to move forward, you're negating the whole point of doing the recode. Why would you bother doing the work if you want to go back into your old reality and your old patterns and your old beliefs and your older stories and old emotions, instead of going, okay, what's my next step? What's the step that I need to take that's going to get me closer to where I want to be? And this is where the precision focus diary, the lenses, whatever system that you use comes into play. Why it's so important, because it allows you to have the clarity and the focus and the direction and the follow through that you need to support yourself as you move forward. So you've always got to practice what you're doing, and then it becomes second nature. And then when you fall back into an old pattern, you can recognize it pretty quickly, and you can go, oh God, there I go again. Now I know that that's what happens. And if you write it down and know when you get triggered, what brings that on, what was the situation, how did I feel, then you can see what the triggers are that brings out that dysfunctional part of yourself that has fear, that has shame, that it maybe has blame, that feels like it's got to pull you back to feel safe. And it's really important when we start to do that and focus in that way, that helps us move forward and past those points where you feel stuck, where you feel like you're oscillating. And sometimes we stay in that oscillation for a few days or a week until we get what's the next obvious action. But we always have to remind ourselves, this is my desired reality over here, and this is where I'm going to be. At the moment, I'm just here, and this is how I'm feeling. But this is not who I am anymore, because the person I'm becoming would be doing this. The person that I'm becoming would do this. And so where's the power? Who holds the power? Is it the past? Is it those dysfunctional identities or personalities, or is it the epigenetics, whatever it is? Where's the power? And this new identity of you that you're creating has the power. You have the power. And so it's really important that you follow those steps and then take the aligned action. So what we do usually is we have 4 main orientational choices. The first orientational choice is I choose the end result of one is being the predominant creative force. In my life. And if you like, that's the tip of it, because that covers everything. And underneath that, you have, I choose the end result of Number 2 is living the life I love. And then we got number 3, and that's of living my true nature. And purpose. And number 4 is health and vitality. So when we have all of those things as our core choices, it allows us to go, okay, if I'm the predominant creative force in my life, what am I creating? What is it that I want to create? I want to live the life that I love. I want to be living my true nature and purpose, and I want to maintain my health and vitality. Now, what if you haven't got health and vitality? So when I work with clients, if they're looking for health and vitality because they've got a health issue, I always just stick with living the life that I love. Because if I'm living the life that I love, I'm doing all the things that I love, so I have to be healthy and vital and fit in order to do all those things, depending what they are, of course. But we can do all of that stuff. So it's really important to think about that. So I would love for you to pick one for today, and let's go through the exercise of unpacking it. So if you've got pen and paper, then I'd love for you to write down one of them. I choose the end result of 1, 2, 3, or 4. And I'll just give you a moment to do that. And let's go through unpacking it. And I love the unpacking. So if you were to be that, if you were living in that end result of being the predominant creative force, what would that feel like? And I don't want the negative stuff, because that's the resistances. That's the dysfunctional parts of us going, oh, no, you can't have that. That's dangerous if you're that. No, no, no. But what if you could? What would it mean for you if you were that? If you could just create and co-create, because we co-create with those around us, we're not an island, even though sometimes we like to be, what would you co-create? What would you create? How would that feel for you if you could do that? How empowering would it be for you to feel into that? Would it feel amazing? Would it feel powerful? Would it feel empowering? Would it feel calm? Would it give you a sense of peace? Would it bring you joy and happiness and satisfaction? Just think about the feelings that it could possibly bring you if you stepped into that. If I was that, would it feel connected? Would it feel gracious? Would it feel loving? Would it feel like I feel confident? I feel focused. I feel like I have direction. How would it feel? And what would you be doing? So if I was the predominant creative force in my life, what would I be doing? I'd be living the life that I love. I'd be living my true nature and purpose, and I would have health and vitality. I would have all those things as part of the big picture of being that predominant creative force. So what would that look like? So think about what it would look like for you. You wake up in the morning, you feel refreshed, you've had a peaceful night's sleep, you feel revitalized. Your eyes are clear and focused. It's easy to read everything. You have your hot water drink or whatever you're going to have first thing in the morning. You have your shower or whatever it is. You get dressed and ready and you look in the mirror and wow, you look fabulous. I look really good today. I'm really excited for the day. I've got all these plans and I look at my diary and I see what it is that I've got arranged for today. And I've got all these things that, well, I just love where I'm living. I love the smell of the ocean. I love that smell and hearing the waves in the background. Feels so good. Just makes me feel grounded, makes me feel amazing. And I go and have breakfast, whatever that is for you, healthy, vital food that brings me more energy. And I relax, go for a walk, do my exercises, meditation, whatever it is that you're doing. Catch up with friends, meet them for brunch, go to work, go into my office. And I've got this amazing day planned. I've got maybe a meeting with my support team where we plan activities, what we're going to be doing for the rest of the week, or I might, just depending on your life, I might choose to go away on a holiday, or I might be going away for a weekend, or I might be having a day away, whatever it is that's for you. If you've got kids, it might be, we're planning a holiday away with the kids. It might be caravanning or going to a resort or a retreat or whatever it is. Just picture it in your mind, what it feels like and what it looks like. How it would be if you did it. And seeing that healthy, vital, supportive, toned, fit, flexible body that's full of energy, that's there supporting you, doing all the things that you do, having adventures, hiking, walking, swimming, abseiling, sailing, whatever it is that you want to be doing. And just stepping into that and really feeling what it feels like and seeing what it would look like. And just picturing yourself as you're doing it. And that's the unpacking. And we write that down because that's part of the focus and clarity that we have moving forward. And then the next step of that is to say, well, what's the resistances? And usually when we start doing these exercises, a lot of resistance comes up. Like, I'm not good enough. You don't do that. It's never worked for you before. Something always happens. You always get sick. Or, there's a global financial crisis or blah, whatever it is your resistances are. They let you know that it's not time for you to do it. And that's perfect. That's what we want. So we just write down those resistances and go, thank you, that's cool. But I'm choosing this end result. I'm choosing to be this. And that's where I'm heading. So when you've done that, let's do a little recode. And with the recode, we're working on different levels of consciousness. So think about it like this. This is you. This is your unconscious. And this is the superconscious. So we're working with our superconscious. And our superconscious is in the field. And it's around us. I'm just going to do it this way. And we want to be connected to all of it. And when we're connected to all of it, our superconscious, so this is like our ego, and this is unconditional. There's no judgment in our superconscious. Whereas here, we've got judgment. If I can smell, spell. We've got conditions. We've got beliefs. We've got stories. That all have to be given power to whatever we do. So when we start to do this work and unplug, decode and recode our brain, we're coming from this place of unconditionality, of no judgment. And we're allowing all the ego, judgment, conditions, beliefs, stories, and everything else that we carry down here to be brought up and out, to be released, and to keep all the wisdom, the knowledge, the understandings that come from all that and let them go so that we can take aligned action. So if you're ready, you can give me permission to command your superconscious. And with this choice that you've made, your true choice, let's begin to look at where we're off to. We just call it, let's assume the recode position. Just closing your eyes and just concentrating on your breath. Just concentrating on that breath. Because when we concentrate on our breath, we're just allowing our body to recognize that it can relax. That you're in a safe space, you're not driving, you're not sitting on the edge of a cliff, or you're not doing anything that would put you in a precarious position. You're just sitting somewhere where you can concentrate on you. Somewhere safe, warm, comfortable. And just concentrating on that breath. And bringing in a beautiful golden energy of love, light, and life. It's bringing it down through the great central sun, the portal of our sun, down through the atmosphere, down through your crown chakra, your third eye, your throat, and anchoring that beautiful energy in your heart. That divine unconditional love. It's always been there. supporting you. And bringing up from the soles of your feet, through the soles of your feet, the beautiful crystalline and diamond energies of Gaia. Up through the soles of your feet, up through your legs, your base chakra, sacral, solar plexus, and anchoring in your heart and joining with that beautiful river of love, light, and life, so that you're constantly being nourished, supported, and grounded at the same time, and imagining that energy doing like a figure of 8 through your heart as it goes down into the earth, coming back up and out through the great central sun and back down again, being refreshed, revitalized, nourishing, supporting. So you're always in and connected to that flow. Just staying with that breath, and when you're ready, I want you to move your focus from your breath into your heart. And I want you to sit there in the heart and just being in that awareness of how wonderful it feels. Just feeling the joy, that little spark of joy that you get when you go into the heart with that unconditional divine energy. And just asking superconscious, are you there? Superconscious, can you see this choice and all that that entails? All the amazing feelings, all how it looks like. Everything that I've written down, can you see and embrace it and put it in a bubble of light and fill it with the highest light and resonance that I can tolerate at this time, and anchoring it in my heart. That's it. And superconscious, I ask you to bring forward all those resistances, old stories, emotions, beliefs, and everything else that obstruct, that cause me to oscillate. The old habits, the beliefs, the templates, the contracts, the vows, and the pledges that I've made that keep me held in that old pattern. Anything that's ready to be released and to be given a new role in my world. That's it. And superconscious, can you please treat and do a massive change history and everything else is required as you develop a treatment plan that suits me and my life. And just superconscious, allowing that to happen in present time, present space. And superconscious, allowing all that energy as I breathe out, all the lower vibrations, frequencies, thought forms, stories, and everything else that no longer serve me. Honoring all those stories, beliefs, and everything else that have brought me to this point in my life where I'm ready to release and let them go. And superconscious, I want you to go back in time to the earliest time where that main belief was developed, the main story, the main emotion, where it was activated in my life, going all the way back, 30s, 20s, teenage, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, whatever age it was, 5, 2, going all the way back. For all of you who are listening, all the way back, whether it was in the womb, at conception, for some of you, that's it. And superconscious, can you see the imprints that were placed upon me of shame, blame, grief, fear? Please return those to where they came from for treatment and replace them with success, resilience, strength, love, joy. That's it. That's it. And superconscious, as you go back to the original events that created those beliefs, let's go back through the family bloodlines to the original events, whether it's mother's side or father's side. We can do one. Let's do that. Yep. Whatever side it is, going back to the original events. And just before those original events, you see that there was a choice to be made. There's a different choice now with the information available that could have been made. And superconscious, can we please insert that choice at the event? Please treat and do a massive change history on the choice that was made, keeping the wisdom, the knowledge and understandings, but putting in this new choice and bringing that and treating each event in each generation from that time to present time. That's it. Seeing the shifts and changes in the DNA as a result of that. That's it. And superconscious. That's it. Just coming back from that time all the way to conception with the new choices. That's it. Yep, perfect. Doing it not only for myself, for all members of the family, seeing how those new choices make a difference to the decisions being made in current reality. That's it. Perfect. And superconscious, as I do this and release and let go and replace, please go through all body systems. See, going through the kidneys, the bladder, adrenals. That's it. Going into the mitochondria of the cells and releasing and letting go and replacing the old story, the old behavior, the old imprints, and replacing them. That's it. Yeah, going through digestive system, lungs, brain, ear, hearing, vision, taste, going through them all, superconscious, thank you. Hormones, going through all body systems. That's it. and treating and doing a massive change history, and everything else is required. Looking for any contracts, vows, pledges, or anything else that I made, please rescind those. See them as parchment and burn them as I step into the new results. That's it. All right, superconscious, is there anything else? No. Okay, enough for today. And superconscious, what's the next step as I step into this new choice? What's the next step as I become this predominant creative force in my life and I create and co-create? What's the next step as I do this? And superconscious, as I do this, just be this. Allow the memory systems to tend to all the memories, grab them, strengthen and reinforce with positive emotions and positive beliefs. That's it. And superconscious, taking everything out of my heart and expanding it around my whole being as I become it. And superconscious, grounding it all into the matrix of the universe for more satisfaction in life as I ground it into the core of the earth as I become it. That's it. Just allowing that process and just taking some big, deep breaths as you ground it. And just coming back when you're ready, knowing this is the first step in using the tools of a conscious creator. And just allowing a few days for this to integrate and shift, knowing as I take the aligned action steps, life began to shift, to change, to alter. That's it. Just taking your time, coming back. And I want to thank you for your attention today. And if you want to learn more about joining me, my group, and having more sessions like this, then please contact me below and we'll gladly share the information about joining me.